There are thin, often imperceptible lines between hate speech and free speech.
New tonight, the freedom of speech protects almost every type of speech. And attorneys say pastors preaching on a pulpit have the broadest form of that freedom. All week, reporter Caitlin Keenahan has been detailing the drag show debate in Tennessee and a local church's part in that. Governor Bill Lee signed a bill into law today, making Tennessee the first state this year to restrict public drag show performances. Tonight, we are diving further into that division down to the legal level and speaking with attorneys who dissect claims and comments on both sides of the argument.
Differing opinions on all-age drag shows put business owners and drag performers on display, and not in a way they want to be.
They were saying that we were pedophiles. They were saying that we were grooming the children.
What you're doing is wrong. The way you're living is gross.
Online comments hurt.
This is a person you've seen in picture and in video on Facebook, and you want to refer to them as pedophiles, child molesters, and you've never even met these people.
But on the other side of the issue, the pastor of Patriot Church, Ken Peters, says he feels a similar way.
So I'm going against the tide. I'm going against the grain. I get massive hate mail. My email is full with people saying the worst, most god-awful things.
But how far is too far?
There are thin, often imperceptible lines between hate speech and free speech.
Larry Crane is a First Amendment lawyer in Nashville. He handles cases pertaining to church rights.
A pastor standing at the pulpit in his church has one of the broadest rights to free speech that one can have. I mean, that is quintessentially religious free speech that's protected by two prongs of the First Amendment.
Freedom of speech and religion protect most church sermons, he says, even if they are political in nature.
There's a host of things that churches can do to try and impact politically their community.
However, the freedom stops for any speaker, pastor, or person when a true threat is made.
Speech that is intended to incite action in terms of hatred or animosity or ill will.
To explain this concept in more depth, the Federal Bureau of Investigation visited Maryville to meet with members of the LGBTQ+ community. Agents asked not to be on camera.
There has to be a specific threat that we can point to that there's no doubt this person is posing.
To provide even more clarity, 10 News asked if the rhetoric coming from the Patriot Church and its attendees was specifically protected.
What are the state laws regarding these scenarios of online harassment? And also, have you been made aware of threats from the Patriot Church?
Directly after asking about the church, the FBI shut down the informational meeting half an hour early.
And my boss has spoken. It signals time. Time has come upon us.
Ken Peters says he hasn't done anything illegal.
You know, a lot of pastors fly below the radar. They stay out of trouble. They don't want to poke the bear. I'm one of those guys that says, you know what? To live is Christ, to die is gain.
But illegal or not, words leave a lasting impact.
We are in fear of our lives, and I cannot stress that enough. A lot of times whenever some of us are getting ready nowadays, it's just the fear of like, is someone going to go out to my show? Am I going to get attacked?
In Knoxville, I'm Caitlin Keenahan.
Now, we followed up with the FBI twice since our question at the FBI Hate Crimes Information meeting. We asked once in November and once again in January and got this response from the U.S. Attorney's Office. It is the policy of the U.S. Attorney's Office not to comment on litigation other than what is on file and available to the public through the U.S. District Court.